Hi, I'm Jared.
And I'm Brad.
And this week on Hood Slappers, we're going to be reviewing the 2022 Hyundai IONIQ 5. The electric car market is erupting, and manufacturers are given the task to come up with not only electric cars, but electric cars that are unique and practical while still being stylish. Because not every electric car looks good. Case in point, the GM EV1. That car came with 2 sets of keys, an owner's manual, and a barf bag for every time you had to look at it. These days, most manufacturers are doing rather well, but there's one brand in particular who went very heavy on the styling, and we like it. The IONIQ 5, a vehicle that checks many of the boxes you would find on anyone's list of needs and wants when looking for a car. It has great options like a moonroof, push-button start, a display screen, and an available Bose sound system.
But so what? Every car today seems to have varying degrees of the same features, and it's become old hat and a bit redundant. So we want to know what's new about Hyundai's IONIQ 5 in a segment we are calling the IONIQ 5's Iconic 5.
Right, and at number 1, the IONIQ 5's Iconic 5 is the flat floor in the rear. We can all agree that if you're not driving, then riding shotgun is the preferred method of travel. Sitting in the back here is not the end of the world, but sitting in the back middle seat really says something about your place in society. But with Hyundai's flat floor, there's no more messing about with that middle hump, and you can be just as comfortable as everybody else.
Number 2, reclining seats that come with an optional footstool. This is a great feature if you need to take a break during a long road trip, or if you find yourself waiting around at a charging station. This handy feature allows you to recline your seat and slide it back, although I have to say, the footstool seems fit for a 3-year-old. It might not get much use, but it is pretty comfortable.
Number 3, Hyundai's V2L capability. By reversing your charging cord, your IONIQ 5 becomes a power plant using bi-directional charging. Hyundai says it has a capability to power appliances in your home in case of a power outage. We were a little bit skeptical, so we wanted to give it the ultimate test. We wanted to see if it could power my Nintendo.
Number 4, a magnet pad. Not exactly groundbreaking, it's just a place apparently to put magnets, so let's move on to number 5.
Number 5, air active intakes on the front bumper. These flaps open and close when needed. They open to cool the car down when necessary, and they close to maximize efficiency.
Another big step forward for Hyundai was with the style of the car. You see, there's always a challenge with creating cars that look futuristic, but still relevant today. And the challenge is that a lot of electric vehicles, they come across as outdated pretty quickly. But with the IONIQ 5, Hyundai looks like they've invented a car 10 years into the future, but has arrived to the party early.
Hyundai describes their IONIQ 5 design as ultra-modern minimalism. With a wheelbase of 118 inches and a total length of 182 inches, it gave the designers at Hyundai the ultimate canvas to design and sculpt a variety of lines and interesting angles, connecting the front and the back together in harmony.
The theme of the headlights is pixels. It's as if Hyundai brought something from the past into the present. It's like looking at an old Nintendo game. The headlights have a unique looking LED shape to them, as if they were in the game Rad Racer. Now, the double IHS headlight ratings have not been released for this year, but Hyundai is very confident in their pixel approach.
The rear taillights continue this pixel theme by making some very recognizable and funky taillights.
But just as you can't judge a book by its cover, you can't judge a car by its exterior. Does the inside of this car keep up with the theme?
The dash consists of 2 12.3-inch screens, the gauge cluster being one and a touchscreen infotainment system being the other. This screen allows you to control many elements of the car, including your heated seats, radio controls, backup camera, sounds of nature. Again,
Where most of the controls have gone to touch only, Hyundai still understands a few fundamentals need not be tampered with. There is still a physical volume knob as well as a push start button.
Hyundai calls the inside of their car a living space. I think what that means is if you're ever falling on hard times, you can in fact live in the back of your car. There is a lot of room. Hyundai reduced the size of their seats by about 30% to give you more space. There's an optional moonroof that creates a very open concept. And should you need more room in the cargo, then you can slide these seats back and forth to give you that space.
Now, the maximum cargo space is actually quite reasonable at 1,680 liters. Now, that's not quite as much as you get with the competitors like the Mach-E, the Tesla Y, and the VW ID4, but it's still impressive nonetheless. On top of that, you also get up to 2,000 pounds of towing.
Now, should you need a little more space, Hyundai also provides a frunk, or as Brad likes to call it, a basket.
Now, when electric vehicles are being made, it seems as though door handles and how to get in the car are big topics of discussion. Now, of course, door handles have been the same for years, but with electric vehicles, all bets are off and every manufacturer seems to be doing their own thing. This is what Hyundai has come up with. Now, there are two ways to do this. One, you click unlock on your key fob and the handles will open. Once open, you can grab them to open the car door. If you do not want to take the keys out of your pocket, you can leave them on you, stay within 3 feet of the door handle, push the little square on the handle, and voila, you open the doors. When locking, it's a matter of hitting lock on the fob or by pushing that little square again.
Well, Brad, I guess that means it's time to drive. I'll take the keys, thank you.
Well, Jared, that brings up an interesting point. As you will remember in our video a while back, we put out a challenge to our viewers. Hashtag let Brad drive. And if we got enough of them, I would get to drive. Well, guess what? Gary, our social media manager, he gave me a call last night.
Gary called you last night?
On Friday night, he gave me a call. And do you know what he told me?
What?
We got enough let Brad drive hashtags. And not only that, the viewers decided which car I would get to drive, and they picked this baby, the IONIQ 5. So, sir, it's my turn to drive.
All right, fine. Keep the keys.
Oh, I will.
Yeah.
This feels right, Jared, doesn't it? This feels right. Oh, I'm so excited that I get to drive this car of all cars. This is amazing. Ready to go?
Yeah, you got your wallet?
Yeah.
License in there?
Okay, come on. Where's my wallet?
What's that?
Where's my wallet? Where's my wallet?
I'm sorry, Brad. No wallet means no license.
No license. Don't start with me.
I mean, well, I'll tell you what.
What?
Barry, our insurance guy,
yeah, the insurance
had a call with him yesterday.
Why would you be talking to him yesterday?
He says that legally we can't drive without a driver's license.
Ha! We could make an exception this one time.
Fortunately, Barry said we can't.
Did you take my wallet?
Gary can't help you now, can he?
Gary, what is going on? You know, I saw you with Darcy, sound guy, whispering. I bet you guys took my wallet, didn't you?
No, that was Terry.
Are you serious? I can't drive.
Yeah, well, we better switch. We got to get this show on the road. Ugh. Wow. You know, you were right. This is a really great car.
This is a travesty of justice, and I will be calling Gary tonight to rectify this.
You call Gary. Barry's getting a phone call tonight just to confirm that,
Why would you be talking to our insurance guy on a Friday night? You had this whole thing cooked up.
he calls me every Friday. Well, Brad, here we are on a drive, the IONIQ 5. And I'll tell you what, of all the EV cars, this has been one of the ones I've been looking forward to most. I think from the time I saw it, it looked cool. The design was really neat. And I do like the layout of the car. It is simple. It's you know,
I like it too. I really like it. I mean, this could be the one.
I think you said that, aside from the Corolla, you said that about every single car. And we all know
Yes.
these do not fall within the price range
You don't think I
Brad,
can buy myself
Brad
an
has set
IONIQ
for
5?
himself. No, because you still have your 2010 Toyota Corolla.
I like riding cars. Hey, it's not done. When it's done, it'll be done.
Your financial advisor, Randy, he called me on Thursday.
He said I'm in no position.
No position. No position.
Well,
This is not a good time for Brad to be making weaves and bobs.
big splashes, eh? Big spending, eh? No, but I think this could be it.
Possibly one day when you get your life
Well,
back
let me
on
ask
track.
you, these days with cars, how long would I have to wait even if I wanted one?
These days with cars, some vehicles, and I'm not kidding, some vehicles is about a 2-year wait.
So I got some time to save up.
That's true, and I've heard this is interesting. In Canada, it's illegal, it's against the law, but in the US, there are some manufacturers who are understanding this supply and demand, and they are actually taking their cars and marking the MSRP up by 10%, sometimes more. And we're seeing that in the comments in some of our videos that you can watch on our YouTube page. But I found that very interesting because we can't do that here for obvious reasons. But in the States, that seems to happen a lot. So it seems there's going to be a long wait, and there's going to be a higher price tag at the point.
Ooh. So almost like the housing market, people like outbidding, except it's not bidding going on. It's the dealerships. And
You want my
whatnot.
car? All right, you got to pay
You gotta pay more.
$10,000 more. Yeah, I know how rare this car is.
Oh, not a good time to be in the market for a car.
It is not a good time to be in
Which
the
is
market for a
bad news for Brad,
car. Very bad news for Brad.
because that Corolla can go anytime.
Corolla might not start after we're done filming.
I know. Like Jared, I need a ride home here.
Now, Brad, we can love the car all we want.
Yeah.
Even the best cars, you have to find some flaws. And in this vehicle, there are a couple. Number one, it's a
Okay.
minor thing.
Yeah.
I'd get used to it, I'm sure. But here, if you can see that, viewers, I have my shifter. I can go from park, neutral, drive, and reverse. And here I have my windscreen wipers. Just like in the Ford Maverick, I got the fan speed and the shifter messed up. Likewise, I'm getting these two messed up. Not a big deal, but still something to fiddle about with. The other thing too, as screens are becoming more popular with vehicles, I do have some functionality down here, but if I want to use my heated seats or my heated steering wheel, I have to go into my screen to activate that. It's not easy down here, just one button push. I have to log into my screen to activate those.
See, it's a slight little safety thing too, because when your knobs with temperature, you're always fixing the temperature while you're driving, right? This you got to
Absolutely.
get in the screen there. Those are legitimate points there, Jared.
I think so.
Some minor flaws.
We got to talk EV for a bit.
Here's
Now-
what I'm going to say.
Okay.
Make it easy for viewers. When you have the IONIQ 5, you've got two battery pack choices. You've got a smaller range one, which is going to give you 354 kilometers per full charge. But you can also get their longer range battery pack, which is going to get you 488 kilometers of range, which, you know, that's pretty impressive. So the choice is yours. The other thing that's, I think, really interesting here is the breadth in horsepower. So, I don't know what that was.
What was that?
What was that?
Oh, it was the Nintendo. Oh, and the TV monitor. Oh,
I'm sure that Nintendo worked real well anyway. Okay, the breadth of horsepower is also pretty impressive here because depending on your trim level, your drivetrain, you get anywhere from around 160 horsepower all the way up to 320 horsepower on this thing.
with the quick charge DC charger,
Yeah.
you can also go from 10% to 80% in 18 minutes. That's reasonably quick, almost too quick that you won't be able to get comfortable in your reclining seat.
Now, get this. Let's say you're in one of those, hey, you got to run out for snacks, but oh no, you got no battery power. You're in a real hurry. If you charge for just 5 minutes, you can get up to 100 kilometers. So it's not like you're going to be stuck waiting for hours. So there's a quick charge option here. 5 minutes, you can do some running around. Now, to get that, of course, you're going to need an at-home system. And what Hyundai's done is they've partnered with Charge Hub. And that, to get that system, it's going to run you anywhere from around $950 to about $1,350 to get that at home.
And that, I think I can justify that, because if I fill my car with fuel
Yeah.
enough times to get to that amount, it would be looking at about 14 fill-ups.
Okay.
And I think that's easily justified. I really do. But the only problem is a charge from those chargers would be about 6 hours. So not as quick of a charge.
Right.
But still, that amount of money can be justified by what you'll be saving on fuel.
Yes. Now, one thing to remind viewers, especially those in colder temperatures like us here, Jared,
Yeah.
is that can really affect your battery, right? So if you come in, you're freezing cold, you crank up the heat, that's going to drain your battery. So Hyundai's got this very cool thing where it will pre-warm your car up for you in kind of a slower fashion
While it's plugged in.
while it's plugged in. And the interesting thing is that has two benefits. A, you get in the car, it's already warmed up.
Absolutely.
But B, you don't have to drain your battery trying to force the car to get warmed up quickly. So that's a nice little feature.
That is quite nice. Now, Brad, we've talked a lot good stuff here, but we still haven't talked about price. Because this looks like an expensive car, that drives like an expensive car, and a lot of EV cars are labeled to be expensive. So where does this sit, with its competitors, and what are some of the competitors that people might not know?
Jared, I'm glad you asked, because I took the liberty of putting together some numbers, some figures, and so I'm going to share them with you now.
Thought you did.
Okay?
I had an
this
inkling.
is what I do. So, what do we got here? Where does it sit in the price point? Well, let's start with the top end here. You've got the Tesla Model Y.
Which we have reviewed.
we have reviewed. You should check it out.
I
I
think
gave
so.
it an enthusiastic foot slap of approval.
Well, what does the price look like on that?
No, it starts at $76,900.
That seems like a lot of money
That seems...
for any car.
Yeah, it definitely does. Now, here's the thing, and why I love that these other car companies are getting in, challenging Tesla. Ford Mach-E, which we've also reviewed. Check it out. It starts at $51,455, which shaves off $25,000
A
right there.
remarkable difference, and the difference between the two cars, the difference is almost negligible.
You're paying $25,000 because you got a crush on Elon Musk or something? Like, that seems a lot
That's a
to
very.
be paying just for the Tesla name.
I think you're right. I do agree with you on that, Brad.
Now, this is what I find interesting. The one we're in here, the IONIQ 5. It starts at $44,999. And what I love is Volkswagen, the ID4, kind of, I think, to Hyundai, just shaving off $50 for them. They start at $44,955. So just coming in slightly lower, but now you've got three great EV options that are just totally cheaper than Tesla and bring everything I think that you get in a Tesla to the market.
I think it diminishes sort of what it is about Tesla. They got away with it for a while, telling me it's expensive EV cars, but now these vehicles that have the infrastructure, they can do it for maybe cheaper.
Yep.
They can do more of them and faster. I think they can bring the price down.
I think so, and I think, tip of the hat to Elon Musk and Tesla for getting the electric vehicle moving.
Yes,
Absolutely. But I think they're going to have to seriously consider in the very near future making their prices more competitive, because when you got cars like this on the road, that $25,000 is a lot of money.
Well, and that's when you can't justify an electric car. Because people will say, well, get an electric car, you're going to save on fuel. But that's a lot of driving you're going to have to do.
Yes.
With a Tesla, it just will never work out. But now with this, how much? 45,000?
Yeah.
Said
No. This one starts at $44,999.
44,999. You get this. That's similarly priced to cars in this segment that are not electric. Plus, you're going to save on gas. So I do see value in the EV car now that the price is coming down. I really do.
And I'll say this, I think I prefer this to the Tesla Model Y. I'll be honest.
I would too. Still go watch our review.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, it's hard to believe that Hyundai started with the Pony, and 45 years later, we have something like this. The word IONIQ 5, it's two words put together. Ion, which represents the EV portion of the car, and unique, which is pretty obvious, but I know this, that Hyundai is at the forefront of the EV game, producing multiple EV and hybrid vehicles that are cost-effective, that are fun to drive, that look good, and are very, very practical. And the IONIQ 5 is no exception to that rule. So with that, I give the all-new 2022 Hyundai IONIQ 5 my hood slap of approval.
Thanks for watching. We'll see you again next time. I need my wallet. Like, how am I supposed to drive home?
Uber?